Good morning. As Professor Kelly has already said, this will be a presentation on Mahara at USP, the e-portfolio system that that some of us are already using. So it's basically some of our experiences starting up with this e-portfolio system. But just before I carry on, I'd just like to tell a short story that gives you an idea of some of the needs that we have. In 2007, when I first was sent over to Vanuatu, to Emalas campus, where I'm currently based, I started living in the lodge, which is right next to the student halls. And one evening after school, one of the students, invited me, and we were talking in his room, and he was so proud of this constitution that he had written for a chief and his people of some island, one of the islands in Vanuatu. He was so proud of this thing. He was showing it to me. I didn't know much about constitutions. I was just looking at it, and he was going on and on about it. Saying the grade, telling me the grade. I think it was up in the A or B class, and saying why, why he wanted it to be A class, but because of some maybe English, he didn't get the mark that he wanted. Basically, reflecting on that exercise, that activity. It was an assessed item that he did for law clinic. That was the course that he was doing. We didn't have e-portfolios back then, although we were testing something called Mahara, which is again another New Zealand product. Now, what is in an e-portfolio? For those of us who don't know, not too familiar, I like that definition there from Butler, which I paraphrased. He basically described a portfolio, but stuck in digital. It's a digital collection of evidence that is gathered together purposefully to show a person's learning journey over time and to demonstrate their abilities. Here are some processes that happen in an e-portfolio. You collect, students collect, staff can collect artifacts that show your learning, your abilities, reflect on them, write reflections on those. You can organize those into different views, different web pages that you show different people. Get feedback, revise these things based on the feedback. You can get assessed by your tutors and lecturers, and you can socialize, network with other students in groups or work collaboratively. The three main components of an e-portfolio, particularly in Mahara, artifact, view, and access. So your artifacts are things that you would be doing, your products of your, say in Joe's case, would have been his constitution, PowerPoint files that you produce for presentations, PDFs, blogs on the left side here. And then views in the middle there, you can have a student or a staff can have different, any amount of views. It's really up to you. I put in the three views. One view can be for assessment. View number 2, which is available to, I'm not too sure whether you can read the little things in the boxes, but that view number 2 is accessed by tutor, by the tutor. So that's why it's only an assessed item. That's why it's only assessed by 1. It's accessed by 1. It's an assessed item, so it has a block. maybe for diary of activities of research that the students doing. The other views, view number one can be a personal learning planning e-portfolio or web page. These views are essentially web pages that you give access to different people to see. So that's sort of, in a nutshell, what e-portfolios are. Now, people have been practicing rudimentary e-portfolios or different aspects of e-portfolios way before we started the e-portfolio project. And just because I'm in Emalas, I've given an example here of a law course which tried to use diaries where students kept a diary of what they did, weekly diary of what they did on their research projects. And that was for, they had problems of motivation, and with staff, in this case it was Anita Joey, wanted to have more reflective practice for the students. That it didn't work because it was in ESOL, a very old system, for two reasons. They didn't provide clear structure, but there was also no space. It wasn't made for that. Currently, we're doing LW305 is doing group portfolios, but it's all in for a complex research project, but it's all in hard copy. And I've often seen Anita with big boxes at the end of these semesters. Hopefully that will be a thing of the past, and people will be able to mark things without loads of artifacts. Just some background. In 2008, May, Sarah Lambert was invited over by, I believe, some PitaTuisawau people who had been attending workshops where they had presentations from Sarah Lambert, who's from the University of Wollongong. She did presentations on the portfolios. In 2009, August, a portfolio working group was set up. We did some literature research, basically comparative analysis of different e-portfolios, around 20, to choose the best three. And the best three that we chose were to have a better look for L, Mahara, and My Stuff. My Stuff is the one that's used by Open University, and it's basically a Moodle plugin. But after testing, we chose to go with Mahara. L was more of a networking system, and My Stuff we couldn't even install because it was tweaked so much by Open University that we couldn't even install it in our Moodle here. There's more information on everything that we did there. There's a paper that's coming out. It's going to be done at PCF6 by Deepak, one of the e-portfolio working group. But more information on how we chose Mahara there, with project definition, updates, and if you want to put in issues as well. This is the e-portfolio project team, the co-opted members, Viren and Ragsnir. Pilots, when we set up e-portfolios, we were told that we were going to run it in semester 2, 2010 for UU100. So the plan was to have it, pilot it with LW352, a law course, environmental law course. So we tried to do face-to-face training in Emalas. And we had 6-year-old computers in the teaching labs, and I think some of you have already experienced trying to do training there. Basically, it took almost an hour to access Mahara from there. But one of the good things that came out of it was we were able to design a template. What you can do in Mahara is for guiding, basically an e-portfolio is student-centered. The difference between LMS, Moodle, it's institution driven, the LMS, whereas for something like Mahara, it's student driven. Students can design their e-portfolios any way they like. So it's more personalized sort of learning. But you can give some guidance by setting up a template. The university or the teacher can give some guidance to the students. And this is a template that we did for law school, which is based, there's some the profile information, interests, academic goals, personal goals, career goals. And if they want to put in their education history and certification and accreditations, they can do that. But the more important part is the showcase, where they show the artifacts. What we've done here is we've picked, these are some of the law, the draft law graduate, some of the draft law graduate attributes. Things like advocacy, case analysis, and on the right there, we've decided to put in standards that say they need to do, say, advocacy. They need to have articulation, persuasiveness, thinking on feet, clarity in mind, ability to respond to, and to know when to stop. We just put it in there, but normally when students start putting in the artifacts of learning, that part there, they'll put their reflections on whatever artifact that they put in. Our pilot with LW352 didn't run too well. So we did one with CFDL and FSTE training, where it was a hybrid online training and face-to-face for staff. Basically covered what is an e-portfolio, types of e-portfolios, and hands-on sessions. Creating e-portfolios in Mahara. We were quite happy with how the online one-week session went. We got a lot of good feedback, but there was a lot of people thought that the face-to-face sessions, which I think were only 1 hour, they thought it was too short to cover that. We also came up with a personal, when we used that because it was staff, we had a personal development planner template. Again, quite similar to what you've seen before, but in here, we decided to put KPIs, things based on some of the KPIs that some of us at the CFDL have. So things like editing, electronic publishing, ICT skills, instructional design. So anything that you do, whether it's even emails, a nice email that you send somebody, whatever, project management. In my case, I would maybe put that Google site thing that I did and this PowerPoint, I put it in this project management. Rollout for UU100. Some of the processes we had. At first, the designing was done by a whole group of them. Designing of e-learning outcomes, activities, and assessment. These were sent to me, and we designed, the portfolio team designed a template for UU100 based on the learning outcomes that we were sent. After we did that, there was training of UU100 staff, then training of students by the staff, copying of templates by students and personalizing them. Students can actually copy the templates that you do, and just some of those things like profiles automatically come on, and then they can put in their own artifacts in the files and even change the folders, the name of the folders. I believe this week they'll be sending in they'll be submitting their e-portfolios for assessment. And the FST team are using rubric for marking this. There's a whole lot of people who will be doing marking for the UU100. And there are surveys ongoing where we hopefully will be able to come back to you once we get the results. We should be able to give you more feedback on how things are going. This is an e-portfolio of a UU100 Vanuatu law student who's doing UU100 in Vanuatu. So I must say that our speed, our connection access problems have been fixed, and that's why we get some people doing. I think that's an excellent e-portfolio. Although you maybe can't read it, he's got his profile there. He's got a photo here titled "Messing Around in Lorau." I believe he did one. He came here for a year, and that how the FSTE teachers they've changed the template. They made it a weekly one, so students are putting in artifacts every week, things that they have done that shows that that evidences they are accomplishing the goals of the learning objectives, learning outcomes for that week, and then they do a summary or a reflection on each week. So reflective practice going on, and hopefully some deeper learning. This is feedback from a UU100 student. All in all, the portfolio is an excellent guide in terms of reviewing our work or experience that we have set out to do. It's a better way of illustrating or showing us past experiences and our goals that we want to complete. Future developments. Personal learning planner. This is up on the Mahara website. We've put up some of these templates for students to use. We've tried to base this on, I believe, what are still draft graduate attributes. I don't think they're still draft, yes?
I believe so.
Okay.
They should come back soon.
So a student coming in year one or UU100 should be able to do one for him or herself. Sticking in whatever artifacts, whatever evidences that show that they've accomplished something that's to do with community life, confidence, critical thinking, cross-culture, specific knowledge, leadership, whatever it is. We're moving to version 1.3. We're testing it out as and we hope to move to it by next year. It's a much better version. It's more navigable. And then I read a bit about USP alumni, and we can actually do these profiles, resume, interests, goals, showcase, have a template for them. We're going to look at doing group collaboration. That's certainly possible. And what I like to recommend is if we can have best student e-portfolios that we recognize and give prizes for in maybe these kinds of forums or some other forums. Challenges, bugs. We had some bugs which some of our people have been able to fix. We need staff to be able to do that. Navigation, which I've already mentioned. Some staff at Amalas, when I first did a presentation to them, raised the issue of responsibility, workloads. Will it increase their workloads? I don't know, maybe after UU100 we'll be able to tell you. Sustainability, will I still have access after graduation, access issues in the region? I think this was resolved in October. Resources, again, computers. Don't think we have, but those are some of the other challenges, but some of the benefits, I'll leave it there. I'll end there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think there's a lot in there for everybody. I just wanted to say about the alumni. I see that that could be extremely useful as we look at really long-term destination surveys. You know, we could go 10 years later, and if we've got a good set of alumni e-portfolios, we've got a better indication for those who've migrated or who are moved from one job to another and are moving up the chain. I think that's really useful. We had some other point that I thought on the question of prizes. If you frame a competition or frame some criteria, we can certainly do that, and that'll encourage more students to contribute and build it. And I think we have a general issue whenever we put these things up here, that unless a student's given their permission to have their name up there, we shouldn't do that. This one was fine because that's a more public document, an e-portfolio, and they obviously agreed with that. But we had some stuff yesterday where we had students' names and students' grades, so you're going to have to block those out when you put them up there in the future. But that's just a lesson for the future. I think this is very useful. What I want to do is take one question here, and then I'm going to ask the regions. We have Emilus and Samoa, I believe. Is that right? Tonga as well. Well, they had a holiday yesterday, so I'm glad they're on deck today. So I'll take a question from here, and then hopefully they can hear me in Tonga and Samoa and where else? Emilus. No, are they on there? Only Tonga? And we'll take a question from Tonga if they've got one in a minute. Would anyone here want to make a comment or question about e-portfolios? We've got one here. And here. It's my exercise program.
Thank you, Susan. Just thinking out loud here, the U100 students have had some experience in this, and in the longer term, I'm assuming that the year and staff project thing will actually require all students to do it. I'm wondering, as a follow-up, if we couldn't allow somebody to get the UU100 students to continue for the next 3 years, not compulsory, but give them that option, and maybe they can fill it in every semester or twice a semester or whatever. It'll give us some pretty good feeling about how they actually use it before we go and make it compulsory for every student to do it. I'm just thinking of carrying on this process, and if it's possible, we'd like to be able to do that.
Well, I think if you put incentives in place, that will help a great deal. Do you want to comment on her comment?
I don't know whether she wants for other staff to drive it, to take it on from here, but they certainly can keep on, using this same e-portfolio. They can continue even doing new views, new personal learning planning ones that are based on graduate attributes. So they have access to that.
Could we not actually set up the graduate attributes centrally, as
you all know what the graduate attributes are, at least the basic ones. Set that up for them, so that staff members don't have to go and do it, that they can build their own. I mean, the whole idea of the portfolio is to have them build their portfolio not against what we want as staff members, but what our institutional graduate profiles are. So we can probably work around that. See how it goes.
I think, as you say, but you mentioned that you're going to have some academic staff who drive it. Once they've left UU100, they're going to have to go forward in other areas. We should be able to, if we put in place a structure and some incentive, that's going to be doable. Would you like to comment?
I just wondering whether it can be put on an automated mode after they graduate, after they finish the course. They can continue to have the same password and all.
The UU100 students can continue doing this next year. It depends on whether when DRAJ stops them from accessing Moodle. They'll have this course. I think they have the course forever, Diraj, or the courses, they have access to it for how long? Because at some point too, we're going to open it up.
Till then, we use it. But this system is totally integrated with the Mahara and Moodle, right? It's a seamless integration where students log into Moodle, they simple click, they just tunnel into Mahara. They're going to have to log into Mahara. So as long as the fees and all those things are cleared off within the system, then they have access on using network, they're good to go.
I think there's actually a link on link to Mahara right on the Moodle homepage, but it's not clickable right now because we're just keeping it for UU 100.
Okay. Well, I think we should address the question of alumni and beyond graduation in a different way. But it's certainly important, and it's a very valuable statement about where universities go to see where they're going. Can I just take a question? Have we got?
Hi.
Is it Tonga, Alapur? So can we have Samoa? Have you got it? Would you like to? Have you got a question? A short question, because we're running into time here. Do you have a question for Peter? What do you think? No? No, somebody's just left the room. So we'll go up the back. You had a question.
Yeah, this is the first I've heard of e-portfolios, and I'm just a bit lost. I don't quite get it. I don't know what this has to do with education. I wonder if we could sort of have somebody tell us what relevance or what connection
it's a
or
very
what
powerful tool,
it has
believe
in
me.
relation to education.
Very powerful tool.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought Peter's presentation was education enough in terms of the application. I think I've been on, my experience, I've been on enough screening committees and appointments committees to read off the CV and say, how do we really know that he knows Microsoft Word? Or he says he's done this, but what evidence is there in terms of his educational or his learning journey? He portfolios pretty much addresses that and very well in terms of you can actually have this to get into to see what the person did. Say he says he has a degree, but in UU 100 you can finally see what he actually did in terms of an artifact. The result of his educational journey through USD, his accomplishments, like it seems more tangible now than just saying words on a page. I've done Microsoft Word and that's it.
I can comment on another one. From my point of view, having used e-portfolio some years ago, definitely in another environment, it's particularly valuable for mature age students who are seeking early or a different kind of entry into a university. They can show you a lot of things that they've done and provide the evidence to build the case for credit in an area once we have a credit system or a range of other ways of having their life experience and their life learning value. But I think about the 3MT, the 3-minute thesis that Graham Knowles organised in research earlier this year, and how valuable it would be for a student who presented then. They only have one PowerPoint slide they're allowed to do, and 3 minutes to talk about their thesis. The whole thing could be there, and it's very impressive. And then they could say, I was one of 16, or I came third, or whatever. And so it's much more visual for students who have done practical things in engineering and others. They have actually built stuff. It's much more interesting than a photograph that goes in a CV. And it's not just about getting jobs, it's about getting promotion. It's about, it's also a very reflective device so that you are saying that, you went down this path and it didn't bear fruit. And so for these reasons you've decided to go down this path. And if we're looking at critical thinking and analysis, then it's a good tool for that. And I think it's also extremely valuable for academic staff as they put together their portfolios for promotion or recognition or application for some short-term or longer-term assignment within the university. And it's more interesting, it's more interactive, it's moving very much down an independent learning path. So I think you did a great presentation. And I think that it's an important part of the way forward for us. We must find a way to generalise it to more people and to assess it. And I think a competition or some kind of incentives would probably get us there. Would you like to make a final comment before we head for hydration and have a hydrate?
I'd just like to say we always talk about being student-centered, and this you can't get any more student-centered than an e-portfolio.
Yeah, well done. Good comment. Thank you very much. And I want to thank you for coming in from Vanuatu for this event, both of you. It's very important that you both, well, that Anita and you came here today for this. So we'll have that. So we will meet again.